All right, cool. Let's see. Looks like we're live on Facebook. Welcome to another episode of After Hours Live. Give me some space here. There we go. Another
Take up
episode.
too much room in the camera.
It's our broad shoulders. It's our muscular shoulders. So, as always, I'm your host, Dr. James Taylor. With me, my student shadow, if you will. This is Blake. So, we're going to use this as a wonderful little segue. As a reminder, hey, we are always looking for guest hosts. So, we'll get to Blake here in a little bit. Let's get to the news. So, first thing, next Saturday, it's the third Saturday of the month, is our Ash Tifto. I always have something to invite your friends to. Pickleball, we're going to do it again. This is probably going to be the last week up at Chicken and Pickle. After that, weather permitting, will be over at this place over here, TCC. So, pickleball, chicken and pickle, 10 o'clock, 10 to 11. After that, then we're going to grab a bite to eat there. Also, we'll get to some more news later, but check out the After Hours Live next week before pickleball. The girls will be running it. They'll have a special announcement for you. We just finished our best Taco Tuesday. Shoot, there must have been 30 to 35 people there. Joel was there taking some videos again. Marlena back on the tables, which was great to see. Remember, we do this Taco Tuesday, first Tuesday of every month. Not quite today. We're getting close. We're at 74. So, Dr. Taylor's Aspire Chiropractic official garage door opener. It is going to be the first Friday where it is above 80 degrees when I get done here. What's the garage door opener? It just means I'm going to bring some food and some beers here and drink in the parking lot. So come join me. It's a little something there. So in Minnesota, the garage door opener, this is from a radio program. They do it the first Friday where it got above 70. Well, since being down here, 70 is still kind of chilly for me, so I bumped it up to 80. So the first 80-degree Friday that we have, we're going to do the official Aspire Chiropractic garage door opener, but since I don't have a garage here, we're just going to drink in the parking lot. I know, right? As always, Whiskey Crusaders. So the requests for the dates have gone out. As soon as I finalize a date, we will get that whiskey tasting squared away. We've only got a couple opportunities because I got some seminars coming up, but it'll be, I think, either the next 2 Fridays, then we're going to skip 2 Fridays, and it'll be the 2 Fridays after that. But again, keep in touch. I will let you know. As always, this is where you can find me. Check us out on YouTube. We got our newsletters. We got DFW Grit the podcast. Side note, sorry about Straight from the Doctor's Desk. I didn't realize I ran out of those emails, so those are going back out again. We've got our office hours. This will be the first Tuesday, the third Thursday. This is only going to be in our VIP group. This is where I'm going to just pop in there, sit and chill for a while, swing in, ask any kind of questions you want. They don't have to be chiropractic related. If you like chiropractic, but you like the way the businesses run better and you want to know how to do it, swing on in there. But again, that's only in our VIP group. Just if you're not in, if you're a patient here, you're allowed to be in there. As always, Stars game's still going on. Baseball season starts in 3 weeks. So new patients, you get thrown into tickets for either the Stars game or the Rangers. If you refer somebody in here, you get thrown in there also. This went out today. Yesterday. Hop over to our socials, either Instagram or what's the other social media thing? Facebook. Thank you. Dynamite drop-in. Share this awesome video that Joel made from our VIP day. We're going to give away $100 cash straight out of my pocket for it. Speaking of $100, the list announcement went out today. So make sure you get on that list. We're giving out, I don't know where the $100 is to this week. Also speaking of, man, $300 a week. I didn't realize I did all that. That's awesome. After this, the girls got to eat. So on Instagram, follow me on my stories. I'll let you know where I go. I'm going to leave a $100 tab open. You can go get it. If you don't, no big deal. It'll go into the waiter's pocket. Seeking guest hosts, even though we've got one today. So, rookie move. So, guest host, Blake, future doctor.
Hello. 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself.
So I'm from not a small town in Mississippi, but I know Mississippi, everybody stereotypes Mississippi as small and nothing there, which is correct.
Is that the only stereotype?
Except where I'm from. There's a few. Except where I'm from Biloxi, right on the water. We got the casinos, the mini Las Vegas. So that's where I'm from. Grew up playing sports. I am a former collegiate athlete. I played junior college baseball, transitioned into Division I football at University of Mississippi, or Ole Miss, as you probably know. So I've been big into sports my whole life. I've been an athlete, been a competitor. Got my undergraduate degree. Didn't know what I wanted to do with it, working job to job without using it. Met a chiropractor backstage at a bodybuilding competition because I compete in bodybuilding. I'm in an off season right now. I might look a little thick to you.
I'm also in an off season.
Yep. Might be a lifetime off season for me. We'll see. But no, so I met a good friend of mine now, Dr. Brandon Harden. He practices in Mississippi. He's actually from Dallas. And I worked for him
That's wild. So it's wild in that like that mirrors my story quite a bit.
Oh, really?
Not just the black shirt, not the tattoo sleeve.
Yeah.
Lot of commonalities
We're
here.
playing this. We got these tattoos
We're
together.
both in a bodybuilding off season. But no, like I used to live in Kansas City, and so say like I finished my undergrad, moved to Kansas City with a girl. Didn't work out. Thankfully, I love my wife. She's great. But no, moved to Kansas City, and I was like, man, like I was just doing Joe job kind of stuff, and I was like, chiropractor has always kind of been in the back of my mind. I went to the dentist one day. Oddly enough, I got a tooth knocked out playing rugby, and then went to the dentist to get a tooth put back in. Fun fact: the weekend right after that is when I met my wife. But I walked out of the dentist, and Cleveland Chiropractic was across the street, and I was like, that's always been an option. So like that's why I applied to chiropractic school. And again, I was going up to play rugby, so it would be like June or April, May or June. I applied, got into Northwestern, and then so that same thing. So I drove from Kansas City back up to Minneapolis to go to chiropractic school because I kind of applied on a whim. Seems to have worked out well for all parties involved. Yep. No, that's wild.
So here we are.
Here we are
4
indeed,
weeks away.
In our black shirts and our bodybuilding off season.
Yep, and I just learned the most in 4-hour span today that I probably learned through the link.
Hell yeah!
Chiropractic school.
I mean, chiropractic school does a great job of teaching you how to be a chiropractor with a patient in front of you. Does a shit job of teaching you how to run an office.
That is correct. You have no idea how to run a business when you leave chiropractic school, and you know how to adjust about 40%.
Right?
And it's whenever you get fully hands-on in a practice and you see patients consistently, that's when you learn how to adjust.
Do you remember giving your first adjustment?
I do. Yeah, it was the best feeling ever. And I was like, I don't know how many of those I'm gonna have to give, but hopefully I get to the point where I can do that every time, because it took a lot of failure.
It does. I like that. Hopefully I can get to the point where I can do that every
It can
time.
be discouraging in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
It really can, because you at first you don't have the feel for it,
Yep.
and you're like, man, is this for me? And then you finally catch on and you get that feel,
Yep.
and it's just that flow, and you're like, okay, now I see everything's clicking now. So
Like, because I mean, we talked about this in the office. Like the crunch, the click, the pop, like that is a wonderful side effect of the adjustment. It is not the adjustment in and of itself, but also at the same time, from a patient standpoint, you want to hear the click. From a doctor standpoint, like it's super satisfying to hear.
It is.
From a student standpoint, if you don't hear it, you feel like you did jack shit. Like, and it's just like, and all you're doing is you got your classmate in front of you going like, that hurt. Like, sorry, bro, we're all learning together here.
I remember try 4, trimester 5, we were all practicing on each other,
Uh-huh.
and we would try to adjust, and we would just be like, man, it didn't crack though.
Yeah.
We had no idea what we were doing.
Again, just throwing hands and the necks over it, and just like the person's like whole body is moving.
Yeah, that's why I have chronic neck stiffness.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mulder.
It's wild. No, not really, but it is. It's truly wild. Just because we got to learn somewhere, and so we practice on each other, and the amount of, like, for all intents and purposes, like intended injury that we give each other over and over. Whether giving the adjustments, like the person receiving, and I'll put adjustment in quotes, or hell, you're like, dude, my wrists and hands hurt through chiropractic school because like you didn't know how to hold them, how to support it. Like now it's like we can eyes closed do it in our sleep, but like learning to be a chiropractor is like physically taxing.
It is 100% because it's trial and error,
Uh-huh.
thousands and thousands of times. So, and you're gonna fail half of them, if not more.
Yeah, right.
When you're learning, at least. So.
Yeah. On the plus side, again, you're practicing on people who haven't paid you.
Right. Exactly.
I have never failed on someone who's paid me.
I have never been paid $1 for chiropractic yet. Just so y'all know.
So as soon as you start taking that paycheck, they're like, that's when the rubber hits the road. Like,
Yeah.
Like there's definitely been times where it's like, man, like crunch. That was like and I say this with love, but I've given some adjustments where I've been like, I didn't charge enough for that. That was fantastic. That was dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hell, they're like, the ones where like the room gets brighter and stuff like that. Like it's fun. It's truly fun to be a chiropractor. So he was here for almost the entire morning shift. Referred in by a previous student who's now a practicing chiropractor, and he's like, hey, I'm looking around. I want to get exposure. I want to get experience, which is an amazing thing, because one of the things I tell patients all the time, well, I tell them a bunch of stuff. Number one, you guys are extremely lucky. because unlike you, I have to spend the rest of my life looking for the second best chiropractor. But outside of that, like one of the great things about chiropractic is it's done so many different ways. One of the crappy things about chiropractic is it's never done the same way twice. Like we look strikingly similar, right? Mm-hmm. Again, bodybuilding off season and black shirts, but I guarantee you could never adjust like me. And the flip side, I could never adjust like you. And going through school, that was one of the things I did, which sounds like you're on the perfect track. Is you're going and seeing all the different ways that it's able to be done, not just like the delivery of the adjustment, but just how a practice is run, how bodies are shifted in and about. Like apart from today, like what's some of the cool stuff you've seen in the way other people practice?
So I've seen multiple different practice business models, I guess you could say, and how they have their office run and their flow and everything. I've seen high volume where patients will come in and the chiropractor just adjusts, and he obviously has other staff members that set them up on different therapies. If you've been to chiropractic, you know what I mean by different treatments, different therapies. And then I've been in a practice where the chiropractor does everything. He does some rehab, he does some adjustment, he does some soft tissue, stretches, everything, puts them on the therapies because he's probably by himself, he's short-staffed, he's got someone working the front. But no, there's so many different ways that offices are ran, and it's there's no one right way or the other. It's about what you can handle and what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But no, some of the coolest things I've seen in a practice is, honestly, I like dry needling myself. I just like I've shadowed a chiropractor before, and she dry needled every patient.
Really?
Like, I mean, different areas. Obviously, she would poke 5 of them in there. She'd do other treatments while the dry needle's in there. Yeah. And it was crazy. Her flow was insane. But
that's cool.
Not necessarily that I have to do dry needling, but it was a cool thing to see. Dr. Ray.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Ray.
So there's the first time I saw a chiropractor do dry needling, was actually with the Jackals, and this guy's awesome. Dr. Andrew Doe. He owns Kintrol, Kintrol. Don't quote me on this, Richardson, Plano area. But like I saw him doing dry needling on the rugby players, and then follow him on Instagram too. Like the stuff he posts on there is fantastic. Just the way that he uses technology, because he works with a lot of athletes. I think he just got back from like Korea, doing what is that?
Lacrosse.
Thank you. Yeah. Not fishing. But yeah, like just the. I saw him do dry needling on the rugby players, and then watching him just the technology that he brings into just body mapping and things like that is insane. But that leads itself to the point, like there are so many different ways to do chiropractic. Like if you walk in here and this is your first experience of chiropractic, you wouldn't think he's a chiropractor.
No.
But if he was your first experience with chiropractic, because he adjusts too, and if he does everything he does, and like, okay, well, shoot, I'm moving from Richardson over to North Richland Hills. You have a chiropractor for me, and he'd be like, yeah, Dr. Taylor, and you'd come in here and you'd be like, this is not chiropractic. This is what Dr. Doe does. So it's like, it's awesome because there are so many different ways to do it. But it's crappy in that there's so many different ways to do it. You'll never get adjusted the same way by 2 different people.
Right. That's why patients get stuck on what they like because they're used to it.
Yeah.
But people don't realize what all we can do. We can do so many things. People that come in for a first visit, I explain that to them. Obviously, I'm an intern right now, but I explain that to them, and their response is just like, holy crap, I didn't know you guys could do all these things. I thought I'd just come in and get cracked.
Yep.
Because they probably experienced that before, There is chiropractors. You go in, crack, boom, you're gone, Yeah.
Do you have any chiropractic miracle stories yet?
I don't, personally.
Okay.
No.
One of the cooler, when I was a student, it's not a miracle, whatever, it's a good story. I'll tell the story. You decide if it's a miracle or not. So I was with with Dr. Fargo. He's the former chiropractor for the Minnesota Vikings. Dude taught me a lot. And so again, we're in the internship, and just woman come in, and she's like, she got a little back pain. Cool. Crunch. So up at Northwestern, we were allowed to be an intern for a maximum of 2 terms at the same place. So I was like, I wanted to be in there for the first term, and then like Sweeta got in, and hey, can we do this again? He's like, yep, absolutely, cool, coming back. And this woman from my first terms, like with the low back pain, cool. I adjusted her for whatever try 7, let's say. And then we, have our 2-week break between our terms. We come back for try 8. I'm in there, and we're about halfway through the try. And this woman comes back in, and she knows that Dr. Fargo's office is a teaching office. She comes in, she sees me, and she's like, Dr. Taylor. And I'm like, not quite, but I'm getting there. She's like, you got me pregnant. And I'm like, what? Because like that's all that was said. So completely out of context. And he had open bay adjusting. So there were 5 tables with 5 people and some waiting. And just a woman comes in and goes, you got me pregnant. And I was like, tell us more. Because
I'm curious.
you know, I am exactly right. She's like, no, like you came in, like, you know, the low back stuff. Like, yeah, like, is your back's feeling better? She's like, well, it turns out like there's, you know, choking off power to the, you know, uterus or over something. Like, we've been trying for years and years and years to get pregnant. And she goes, and it never happened. And we just gave up. But then I hurt my back. I came in here and got my back adjusted. You explained to me like all the connections between all that. But she's like, she never told me about that they were trying and failed. And then all of a sudden she comes back in after being adjusted for low back pain and then sees her intern. And she's like, hey, remember all that stuff you told me? Well, turns out you were right. It worked. I'm pregnant now. Okay, well, thank you, one, for explaining that to everybody else. That, like, congrats, I got you pregnant, but it's not my baby. But also, just like, again, so that was like the first, like, I guess, miracle story, if you will.
That's awesome.
But it was great. Man, my face, like, just red. Understandably so, instantly with embarrassment.
Actually,
I was like, Dr. Fargo, I didn't sleep with your patient.
I actually know a miracle story from a chiropractor that I know. I didn't experience it personally, but he told me about this. So if you guys are interested, I'll tell you. So he had a patient come in, and this just goes to show you how educated chiropractors are and how much we actually learn in school. We don't just learn how to crack bones. He had a patient come in, and he said he had neck pain, and said he couldn't lift his arm farther than that. He said it was causing him so much pain to even lift his arm that high. So the chiropractor does a bunch of exams on him. Everything tests negative. All orthopedic exams, all neurologic exams. So at that point, the chiropractor says this has to be vascular. So he said, I'm referring you to the ER. And the guy said, all right, I'll drive there. And the chiropractor, he said, no, I'm driving you there. They go there. In the ER, the nurse puts the blood pressure cuff on his arm and starts pumping up. And all of a sudden, he could move his arm. And he's like, holy crap, I can move my arm now just from getting his blood pressure taken. He had an artery occluded. The guy was having a stroke in the chiropractic office, which is where the neck pain was coming from.
Uh-huh.
So he caught the guy having a stroke. If he wouldn't have caught that, he could have adjusted his neck, which the adjustment wouldn't have killed him. That's almost impossible from an adjustment. But he could have adjusted him, not recognized the stroke that he was having, and sent him home. The guy could have died that night.
Yeah.
You know? So he basically saved his life.
Because I caught a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally right here, like in this spot. Scroll back on Instagram. There's a lone picture of a chair, and it's a chair, and it's where he was sitting. He came in, and I've seen him forever. But that dude, I got getting chills.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't right. Wasn't something right about him that day, and I was like, I'm sitting here like, what's going on? She's like, I got this new thing. I don't like new things. I like old things. And but also like his demeanor was different. His skin tone was like, it was different. And I'm like, you know, man, I don't think I'm gonna give you an adjustment today. And he started getting angry. He doesn't get angry. And to the point where I'm like, you know what? No, we're gonna call somebody. And so we had an ambulance come here, which again, from like a business standpoint, like, man, you don't want to have an ambulance out in front of your place. Because like literally that thought, I'm not gonna lie, that thought went through my head. How is this going to look, chiropractic office with an ambulance out in front of it? But like sitting here, like, dude needs an ambulance. And so we get the paramedics coming and everything like that. And by the time the ambulance got here, he was irate. He was pissed that he wasn't getting an adjustment. And like that mind shift, that's not him. Like, okay, cool. Like he's pissed, I'm doing the right thing. And so like the day he got taken away. And with chiropractic, we treat a lot of we'll say everyday maladies and ailments and things like that. So it's rarely is it something that you take home with you. Like we don't have the same pressure that an ER doctor has or something like that. Right. But this was the first time where like I can remember where like after I got done, I went and grabbed my tea to eat, and I'm like, I wonder if I can follow up. So like I think I called the police station. Like I don't even know who to call. I called the police station. I'm like, hey, an ambulance came to Aspire Chiropractic. Do you know where it took the patient? And like I'm known this whole time, like they can't tell me anything. But then like I just like, hey, I'm the guy who called it. You know, I'm the treating doctor. I started throwing out words that I thought would get me down the path, and it did. And then got me to the point where I got the treating doctor from the ER on the phone, and she was like, "You made a great call." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, sorry about swearing, but like, no, I'm not. So like, it was amazing. Like, and it was the same thing. Like, he came in here because he had neck pain, and I'm like, this is different neck pain. So like, there's all these news stories out there. They come up all the time. Like, I didn't intend to go here, but I'm totally cool talking about this. Chiropractic causes stroke. Bullshit. Chiropractic does not cause stroke. Strokes cause symptoms that people seek treatment for chiropractors for. Neck pain, back pain, and headaches. Those are symptoms of a stroke. If you go to a shitty chiropractor, then they could eventually exacerbate that. You go to a good chiropractor, they catch these things.
Don't just go to any chiropractor.
No, I mean,
do your research.
Yeah,
do your research.
Go to the one with like 400 plus Google reviews and a black shirt and is in between bodybuilding competition
with a tatted arm.
Tatted arm, right?
But no, sum that up. Basically, if someone comes in with neck pain, like they say, they could be having a stroke, and if a chiropractor doesn't detect that, the chiropractor is going to say, "Oh, classic neck pain. I'm going to do my adjustment." He adjusts him. The patient ends up dying. The last person that touched him was a chiropractor. Did the chiropractic adjustment kill him? No, but it wasn't detected.
Nope.
So,
they came in with a condition that mimics what everyone goes to chiropractor for. I mean, it sucks that there are shitty chiropractors out there, not out here. I mean, there's shitty mechanics.
We don't know where, but they're out there.
Yeah, we don't know where. Find them one day, educate them, literally educate them. You fucking dummy.
Find them, let us know. Come in here for your.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. Problem solved. But all that being said, shadowing graduated in 4 weeks.
Yep.
That is fantastic. When do you take part 4?
In 2 months.
In 2 months.
Part 4. See, I'm a very hands-on physical guy. I can do all of that. I'm a smart guy, but I'm not a great test taker. I just get anxiety. I get test anxiety. I don't know why. I know the material. It's just a fog that covers you because the test is $700, and so it makes you think extra hard about each question, and then your brain.
You have to pay for part 4,
right? And then it's 4 hours long, and it's just multiple factors. But I'm a very hands-on guy, so I think part 4 will be pretty.
Dude, part 4 was a breeze.
Yeah.
Oddly, part 3 was my highest scoring test. But part 4, I know I did not expect that. But part 4 was the one that I went into and came out of with like the least amount of worries.
I'm not counting the days till those results. I know I'm passed.
Walk out of there, because oddly enough, we didn't talk about this, and some of you know this out there, some of you don't. My dad actually went to chiropractic school, but isn't a chiropractor. He could not pass part 4.
Really?
Yep, kept failing the X-ray portion. Couldn't read an X-ray to save his life. Like, I want to say he took the test like 4 times. And again, that's like
a lot of money.
Yeah, and this was 15, 20 years ago. So it was, I mean, shoot, it was a number with a comma in it then, regardless of what it is now. But yeah, so like I had that in the back of my mind, like, oh, is this a generational curse? No, but yeah. Aside from that, like, highest score was part 3, which again I was also surprised because that's all the ClinPath stuff. And, I remember like every now and then Zuckerberg will, show me, our memories and post, not our memories. Maybe we'll have memories one day. He'll show me, memories and stuff like that. And, like, post that I made, like, hey, just took the practice exam, and you'll be happy to know, like, I scored the highest on the STD section. But this is a literal post. But sorry, ladies, I scored the lowest on OBGYN. So, like, it's one of those things you look back at the stuff you post, and you're like, oh man, I wasn't as funny as I thought I was. But also, dude, that just kind of like I do remember, like, why did I score so well on this? And then all of a sudden, like, just random stuff would pop up. But
yeah, no, I always get a notification on this day 10 years ago on Facebook. ... I don't even click on the memory. I just delete.
Dude, you got to know your history, or you're doomed to repeat it. So that's what some smart guy said sometime. But other than that, all things considered, you guys, thanks again for always liking, watching, sharing another episode of After Hours Live. Remember, next Friday, the girls are taking over. They're also going to make an announcement. Oh, shoot, did we go through that? Whatever. Go to Facebook or go to Instagram. It sounds familiar now that I'm saying it. We made a video, first video we've ever made. Joel from Grand Light Creative created it. It is fantastic. I'm biased because I'm the star of it. But go on there and share it. For everyone who shares it, you'll be entered for a chance to win $100 straight out of my wallet here. So the girls are going to make the announcement on After Hours Live of the winner next Friday. And then remember, the Saturday after that, we're doing our pickleball. What's this hand thing? Saturday after
That's
that,
an emphasis.
it does, right? Like a politician.
Yeah.
Saturday after that, we're doing pickleball up at Chicken and Pickle, 10 to 11, and they're grabbing a bite there to eat after. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully I'll see you all in the future.
You guys all have a great rest of your day. Oh, look at that. We got a